Good evening, everyone. So, as we are, working on the Kailash webinar, and whoever has attended the last webinar, so we had started talking about workflow automation in Kailash, and we have already had one session about workflows. So, in last webinar, we covered what is a workflow, what workflow can help you in order to automate some of your sales processes, how it's helpful for us to reduce our redundant tasks that are to be done by some manually, so how we can automate all of them. So we'll continue the same discussion, and I will show some more possible actions that can be done via Kailash workflow. Okay. So how do we navigate to workflow is something that the moment you logged in on the screen, you click on this CRM settings, and then we go to automation, and in this automation there is a workflow. Okay, and in order to create any workflow we can click on add a workflow, right? So in the last webinar we had touched based upon the workflows for reassignment and and the send email portions. So last time we had covered the reassignment and send email tasks. Today we are going to cover the create task and the webhook features. So I'll cover them one by one. So let's talk about tasks. Okay. So how tasks are created in Kailash manually first. Okay. So for example, if I am on a lead details page or a contact details page or deals details page, right? So this is how the details page looks like. And if you navigate on the right hand side navigation, you will see there is the icon of task, and when we click on that there is a list of tasks shown which is associated with this lead, right? So I can create a new task also. So tasks in Kailash are nothing but some activity that a sales executive or any of the user of Kailash is supposed to perform. What are the properties of task are, the first one is name of the task. So let's say follow up for payment could be one of the tasks that typically a sales user has to perform, right? The type of the task could be call, follow up, reminder, or to do anything. So let us choose call by default. Okay, there is a description. You can have a description of the task which is to be performed. There is a status. So there are three possibilities. One is open, in progress, and completed. So let's assume since we are creating a task, the status is by default open. Priority, I can mark a task as high, medium, or low. So let's mark it as high priority task. This is the due date. Due date in the sense by when this task should be completed. Okay, so let's say I want this task to be completed by day after tomorrow 6 p.m. So I can choose that particular date and time, and I can set this as a due date. So the sales user has to perform this task by this particular due date. Okay, and there is something called reminder. So I can set a reminder as well, whether it is a 15 minutes ago or before, 30 minutes before, or 1 hour. So what it does is it basically sends an email to the assignee of the task, which is nothing but this user, that there is a task in Kailash and you have to perform. So this is a typical reminder that we usually receive about our meetings in Outlook or Google Calendar, something like that. So it triggers an email, right? And I can choose assignee. So other than myself, I can assign this task to somebody else as well. And the last thing is relation. So I can relate some of the entities. As you know, if I have started adding this task from this particular leads details screen, that's why this lead is automatically associated with the task. I can add more entities like deals and contacts with this task. What happens if I add those entities over here is it simply starts showing up on the details page of that particular lead. So what is the due date? Just a minute. So let's say I'm creating a task. for payment, and I'm assigning it to this, relating to this deal, and if I save, this task starts showing up over here. So whichever entities I have associated it with, all those entities I can add, and that task starts showing up on the right hand side of my screen. If you notice, the task is shown on the left hand side under pending activities section as well. Whichever tasks are scheduled for a future date and they are open, this is shown over here. If let's say I mark this task as completed, then it will keep showing in the right hand side productivity section, but it will be removed from the pending activity because that task is completed now and it's no longer pending, right? So this is how the tasks are created on Kailash manually, and this is how the tasks are shown on the UI. Now we are talking about automation of this task creation. So the use case of automation of task creation could be, for example, if there is a deal in progress, and if this deal moves in a certain pipeline stage, a task should be created automatically, should be assigned to the owner of this deal, so that when they log in the system, they know that they are supposed to perform this task. So sometimes what happens is, let's say there is a stage which is indicating towards payment recovery. Okay, now the moment a deal moves in that stage, payment recovery, there is a call which has to be gone from our side to the customer about a payment. This is a typical simple use case. You can think of more use cases of automated task creation. So let's see how we can automate this task creation with the help of workflow. So the use case over here is, I will write it down here, that creation on deals. Okay, in which case I want to create a task is create automated tasks when the deal moves in, let's say one of the pipeline stage. We'll choose which pipeline stage. Okay, so I'm choosing the entity called deal. The event will be when a deal is updated. Okay, I want to trigger this workflow whenever a deal is updated, and what will be happening when the deal is updated is basically the deal is moving in a certain pipeline stage. So I'll add this condition as, let's say one of the pipeline is software deal pipeline, so that's a dummy pipeline in my case, and let's say when this deal moves in onboarded stage. Okay, suppose onboarded is one of my pipeline stage, and whenever the deal moves in that particular stage, let's say my customer success executive has to schedule a call of onboarding with the customer. Okay, and another condition will be each change. So what I am writing over here is, whenever a deal is updated, the pipeline stage is changed and updated as onboarded. Okay, this is my condition, and the action that I will be performing is create task. When I click on this create task, it's basically, let's say, saying schedule an onboarding call with the customer. Okay, so let's say it's a to-do type of task or call or whichever type. I can add a description as well, that's optional. I can mark a status. So by default it should be in open. Priority, let's say it's an high priority task. Now due date. So when we were creating the task manually, there was a date picker field which was allowing us to, I'll show it again, which was allowing us to choose an absolute date on which this task is due. But now, since we are talking automation of tasks, the due date has to be relative to the workflow trigger date. Basically, if some workflow is getting triggered today, that means a deal is moving in the onboarded stage today. I want that the scheduling of this onboarding call should be completed within 2 days. The moment a deal moves in onboarded stage, the onboarding should be completed in 2 days, right? So that 2 days is from the date when deal is moving in a stage, correct? So that is relative to the workflow trigger date. So what I will do is, let's say if I want that to be done within 2 days, so I will enter 2 here, and if I read this 2 days 1 hour, I can make it 0 also. So 2 days 0 hours after the workflow trigger date and time. Whenever this workflow triggers, exactly after 2 days, the due date will be set. So for example, if this workflow is triggering just now, which is 22nd of December, 5:47 p.m. If this workflow will execute, this will set the due date as 2 days after this, which is nothing but 24th and 5:47 p.m. So it will choose that particular time over here, right? This is the meaning of relative due date. And reminder is same, 1 hour before I can change it to 15 minutes also based on my need, and assigned to. Now whom this task should be assigned is again something depends on the deal on which this workflow is getting executed. So in this case there are few possibilities. One is the absolute user, so which is nothing but available to us in the manual task creation also. So I can choose any particular user to whom I want this task to be assigned. But in case the task should be assigned to the user who is working on that deal, that means he or she is the owner of that deal. So I'll choose workflow deal owner. So whoever is the owner, in this case, the owner is Chauhan Abhi. Okay. Since this deal is assigned to Chauhan Abhi, when this workflow will execute, this will assign that particular task to owner called Chauhan Abhi. Okay, or in this case, since this workflow will execute on every single deal which is qualifying that condition, then it will check the ownership of the deal in real time and it will create the task and assign to that particular owner. Right? So this is the concept of relative ownership of the task assignee. Right? And related to is by default the particular deal which is getting executed. Now I will save this. And let's say, let me just modify the description as deals moves in, let's say, onboarding stage. Okay, so I'll go through this workflow again once and then I'll show the execution of this. So what we are doing is we are trying to create a task automatically when a deal moves in a certain pipeline stage. So what we have done is we have chosen an entity called deal. We have set the trigger preference as updated. We have put a certain condition that this pipeline and its stage is changed and the stage is equal to onboarded, and the desired action is create task. So I am clicking on save and activate. Okay, so make sure other workflows are deactivated for the time being because sometimes the workflows can be conflicting as well. Okay, and this. This workflow has been created and this is now active, and if we notice the trigger count is 0. Okay, now let me perform some action of a deal. So for example, one of the deal is this one. Okay, I am attaching a pipeline right now. So I am attaching one of the pipeline but not marking the stage as onboarded. Okay, that means the workflow condition will fail and this should not be triggered. So let us see. So the trigger count is still 0. That means the workflow didn't execute. Now this deal is already in the system. One of my sales user, let's say, changes the stage to onboarded. Okay. Now the expectation is that the workflow should be executed because if you notice the trigger count has updated to 1. So why this workflow should be triggered is that first of all we have marked the pipeline as software deal pipeline. We have changed the stage and the stage has been changed as onboarded. Now if I refresh this, I am seeing a task which is automatically created, schedule an onboarding call, and it is assigned to the user called Chauhan Abhi, since that user is the owner of this deal. If this deal would have been created by another user, this task would have been associated with some other user. And if you notice, the due date is December 24 around 5:50 p.m., which is nothing but exactly after 2 days of the time when this deal was, this workflow was triggered. Right. So this is how the automation of task creation takes place in Kaila. So there can be various use cases of automated tasks. Many times our sales executives or customer support team are supposed to perform certain actions based on different pipeline stages, and it becomes very difficult to track on everything. So we keep writing such workflows such that the tasks keep creating automatically, the tasks keep assigning to the right user, and whenever that particular user logs in, the tasks are shown on the dashboard also. So this dashboard, if I let's say change it to December 24 tasks, so it will show me that particular task which was created. So it is showing all the tasks which are due on December 24. So the moment that target user will log in onto Kailas, all the tasks that are scheduled for a day will be shown over here. So there is no manual effort in creating tasks. These tasks are created automatically. Later on, you can create reports on tasks. So there is a reporting on task also available. You can have a list of how many tasks created, who has performed those tasks, how many tasks are open, and everything. Every data is in front of you within few clicks, right? So this is how the automated task creation takes place in Kailas. Any questions about the task creation? Then we'll move to the next topic, which is webhook.
So any question?
All right, let's address the questions at the last. So the one of the use case was about tasks. Now there is something else that I wanted to talk about is webhook in Keras. Okay, so first of all, let's understand what is the concept of webhook, right? So webhook is a little technical term. I'll try to explain that in some simple words. Okay, so webhook is nothing but communication between two systems via APIs. Okay, and how that takes place, I'll quickly try to explain. So it's not visible. I'll zoom it.
Control plus.
Okay. So there are two type of API communication that are majorly available with us. Is one is the polling and another is the webhook. Okay. So what happens is polling is, let's say there are two systems. One is Kailas and another is, let's say, Mailchimp. Okay. Now some activity which are happening in Kailas, for example, a lead has been created in Kailas. Okay. I want to send that particular leads data to some other system, right? So in case of polling, what happens is somebody will be hitting our Kailas read API and they will be checking whether there is a lead created or not. Okay, every time. So as you can see in this image, every time this system is asking, is your data ready? It is saying no. Is your data ready? It is saying no. Is your data ready? It is saying yes. That means basically it's hitting the API again and again and checking whether desired data is available or not. While in webhook, what happens is whenever the data is available with one of the system, it will by himself or herself, it will send the data to the next system. So based on a condition, whenever that particular data is available, it will send that data with the help of webhook. So the other system need not hit the APIs again and again. Whenever it's available with the system number one, it will send that data to system number two through some API calls. So let me give you an example. Okay, I'll show you how webhook is created and where you can use it. So for example, there is a this is a site that provide us testing facility for webhooks. I'll quickly go and create a workflow. And then I'll come to the business use cases of this webhook. So let's say, so what I want is whenever a lead is created, send the leads data to one of the system, for example, Mailchimp for that matter. So I want to create users in my Mailchimp account and I want every lead which is coming in Kailas to be added as a user in Mailchimp. Okay. So what typically we have to do is we have to paste the Mailchimp webhook URL or API URL here. As of now, I am putting this test URL, and we have to send some parameters. So for example, lead first name. These are like my dummy variables that I can use. So let's say whichever first name is coming with that lead should be sent as lead first name. Okay, similarly lead last name, and let's say email as well. So lead email ID. And I am saving this. So this list of parameter is nothing but what this particular site accepts. Okay, so if it is a MailChimp webhook URL, that means MailChimp would have some desired list of variables that they would be expecting. So we will be passing those variables over here. As of now, since this is a test webhook, so we can pass anything and it will accept it. Okay. Let me go through the workflow again. So it's simple workflow of lead created for all leads. Send that particular data, first name, last name, and email to a certain URL, which is nothing but this one. Okay. Now let me save this, and it's activated. Okay. Now what will happen is, let's say I am creating a lead in the system. Okay, this is the first name and last name, and let's say I enter a dummy email. The moment I save this lead, this workflow triggers, the trigger count increases to 1, and if I go to my webhook.site, there is some data that has come to us. Okay, so there is lead last name as Sharma, there is lead first name as Rohit, there is lead email ID which is rohit@gmail.com. Okay, so what has exactly happened is we were able to transfer the Kailash data to some other system with the help of webhook, right? So in case if let's say I've taken an example of MailChimp, or there can be some other use cases also. For example, if you are using some tool for invoicing or create your invoices, right? What we can do is we can write a workflow that whenever a deal is closed, send this deal related data to one of the invoicing tool, okay, which is creating your invoices, right? So the moment a deal will be closed in Kailash, this data will be sent to your invoicing tool. They will accept this data. They will have their own APIs to process this data, and they will create the invoices, right? So in any case, if based on some activity you want to send your data to some external system, this webhook is used, right? So this is a typical use case of webhook. Now let me give you a live example of webhook with the help of one of the functionality that is available in Kailash is round robin assignment. Okay, so let me open up that code article for you. So what is a round robin assignment is, whenever there are leads in the system, we would like to assign those leads in a round robin fashion with our sales users, right? So let's say if there are 5 sales users in city called Pune, right? All of them are looking after the leads of Pune. Now I want to equally distribute every single lead that is coming for Pune to all those 5 sales executives, right? So in case of the typical reassignment workflow that we had seen earlier, what happens is that we can choose only one user at a time based on a city or called Pune or Mumbai or whichever, right? But in case there are multiple sales users in our team and I want to distribute those leads equally with among my sales users, how would I do that? Okay, so in that case, this round robin assignment comes into picture. How do we achieve that? So we achieve that with the help of webhook. I'll again go to one of the workflow and update it. So let's say round robin assignment of leads. right? Let's say for now, let me not put any of the conditions. So let us execute this workflow on every single lead which is being created. Okay, and let me add that action as webhook, and instead of this URL, we are going to put this URL which you can find in the support article. I'll paste the link of support article in the meeting chat for your future reference also. So why we need this external webhook URL is simply because the round robin application sits outside Keras. We have developed this externally and it can be accessed through this webhook URL. Okay, so what I have to simply do is I have to copy that URL and paste it over here. There are certain set of parameters that this application accepts is nothing but this. We have to pass those parameters. So one of the parameter is API key. Okay, let me delete this and API key. Okay, the type of the parameter of API key is custom. That means I can put any text in this. So instead of a text, I would be actually putting my own account's API key. That can be found over here. When I navigate to CRM settings and I go to integrations, under integrations there is a section of API key and I can copy my API key from here and I can paste this. Other than API key, I need one more parameter as user IDs. Okay, so user underscore IDs. You have to be very careful about the nomenclature of parameters. Okay, if there is any spelling mistake, then these parameter will not be accepted and it will start throwing some error. Okay, so again it's a custom parameter. Now here we will be passing the user IDs among whom I would like to reassign the leads. Okay, so for that I will go to CRM settings. Under user management I will go to manage users and let's say let me filter all the active users because this workflow will work only on those users who are active. Okay, so let's say one of the user is this one and I have to copy the ID of this user from the URL. So you can see there is a number at the last of the URL in our browser. We can copy that one and we have to paste it over here. Then separated by comma, we have to enter another user's ID. So let's say these two users, Tushar and test users, I would like to assign all the leads to these two. So I can put their IDs separated by comma. I can have n number of IDs. Whoever is supposed to get leads from this particular workflow, and then again I'll go to that article and I'll see there is another parameter called lead underscore ID. So I'll write that one, lead underscore ID. That is a parameter of lead and the ID. So what it will do is it will send the lead ID to that application. And there is one more parameter, look back window. I'll explain what this look back window is slightly later. Let me just add that as of now and I'll tell you why this parameter exists. That's a simple custom number. So for example, 1. Now save this. Okay, and I'll save this workflow. I'll recap that one. So the workflow is about round robin reassignment. The entity is lead. And whenever a lead is created for all leads, this webhook is supposed to trigger, and behind this webhook the round robin assignment of the lead is written. Okay, I'll save this. Now let me create a lead. as we know, by default, when I create a lead, it is assigned to the logged in user. And in my case, the logged in user is Chauhanabi. Okay, I'll go ahead and create a lead. So let's say lead 1, right? And if I save this, as we can see, the lead is created over here, and after a few seconds, so there is a delay of around 3 to 4 seconds. After that delay, you can see this lead has gone to test user. Okay, who was one of our target users. Now if I, let's say, create another lead, which is nothing but lead 2. If I save this, it will go to, it should go to the another user, which was nothing but Tushar. Okay, so if I refresh this after 3-4 seconds, it has again gone to Tushar, because the number of leads with test user might be lesser than Tushar. So that is the concept of look back window. So what look back window does is it checks throughout in the system for these many days. So in one day, how many lead has been assigned to a particular user. Whoever's number is lesser, it will assign that lead to the next user. So let's say there are 100 leads in the system, right? And 40 lead is assigned to this user, 30 lead is assigned to the second user. Now, if I will trigger this workflow, it will assign the next lead to the person who has lesser leads. That means the second user, because it has 30 leads only. And what it will do is it will keep assigning leads to this user until the count is equivalent to the first user, which is 40. So it will assign 10 leads to the user number 2, right? Now let's say I don't want that. I want that whatever difference of current leads in the system is there, let it be from now onwards, assign the leads in round robin fashion. So ignore that difference of 10. So what I will do is I'll add another parameter of look back window and enter a number, let's say 1, 2 or 3. So what the system will do is it will check in the last 3 days how many leads have been assigned to the user. If whoever has got the lesser number of leads in last 3 days, the new lead will be assigned to them. Okay, so this is the concept of look back window. If I want, let's say on the day 1 of your sign up, if you are setting up this workflow, then you do not need a look back window. But let's say after few months, when there are so many leads in the system and we are willing to have this round robin assignment, then preferably you can put a look back window so that it consider only the last 3-4 days of data. Okay, so now if we see, the lead has gone to Tushar, so it will keep assigning the leads between these two users and it will keep the count equivalent to each other. So you do not have to worry about whom these leads are going, since all those sales users are interested in same type of leads. You can add those user IDs over here and the leads will keep routing between these two users. Okay, so this is how the round robin reassignment of lead works with the help of the concept of webhook. I'll take 2 more minutes and I'll show one more functionality, that instead of user IDs, we can pass a variable called team ID also. Okay, and I can get the team ID from here. Again, I will go to CRM settings under manage teams and I can select the team ID from here. So what difference it brings in this assignment is simply, instead of adding all those user IDs one by one, what you can do is you can create a team and you can assign the team ID. So what it will do is whoever sales users are available in this team, for example, this team has these many sales users. Okay, these two, or maybe it can have more sales users. Right, so what it will do is it will keep routing the leads to these sales users one by one. So you do not have to put 1, 2, 3, 4 IDs in the workflow. You have to simply put only one ID with a parameter called team underscore ID, and our system will automatically pick up all the user IDs that are available in this particular team, and it will keep routing the leads to all those users who belong to that team in a round robin fashion. So that is some additional functionality that was available with us instead of user ID, because sometimes what happens is there are hundreds of users in a CRM, right? So it's very cumbersome to enter 100 IDs over here. So you simply create a team and put this particular team ID in one of the parameter, and the round robin will take place among all those users who are there in the team. Okay, so mostly this was it about the webhook in Kailas, which can be triggered with the help of workflow. So there are other different use cases of webhook. One of this was about round robin assignment that I showed you. Other than that, there can be multiple use cases. Whenever there is a third party system in picture from to whom you would like to send the data, webhook comes into picture, right? So I'll just wrap up this session, just quickly summarize that we saw how automatically tasks are created in Kailas with the help of workflow. We also saw how round robin assignment works with the help of concept of webhooks in Kailas. Okay, I hope this was helpful, and now we are open for questions. There are any questions, we can address them.
Yeah, any question from audience? So you can unmute yourself to ask your questions. So we're waiting for like 2 minutes to listen question from. Post to that we'll close the session.
Fine, then I think let us wrap up the session. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll continue next week with another topic.